You're tuned in to Get Right Fantasy.
Hey everybody, Adam Rank here.
What's up, friends? Daniel Dopp here from the Fantasy Focused Football Podcast over on ESPN.
It's Fabs here, Michael Fabiano from Sports Illustrated.
You know who you can trust if you've got some questions about your fantasy squad?
Want to check out a cool show on YouTube that'll help you get ready for the fantasy football season?
Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network.
Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network. If you are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? You want to lose your league?
Head on over to YouTube. Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network because they're doing everything they can to make you a better fantasy player.
You got to get right with the Get Right Fantasy Network.
You're tuned in to Get Right Fantasy.
What up? What up? What up, world? Welcome back to the Get Right Fantasy Network. I'm Mike Herrick, aka Classic Mike, and this is our Week 13 active and inactive Sunday show. I'll be going over some of the news and notes since our Friday show and going over the actives and inactives roughly at around 11:30 or as news comes in, as well as answering your last-minute start-sit questions. So make sure you guys throw those questions in the chat. I'll be answering them as long as we get, interaction with people I'll be on. So let's start with some news and notes just to get everything moving. Chigakonkwe looks like he was questionable due to a foot injury. He's expected to play. His teammate, Alec, I'm not even going to try. Alec, he is going to be good to go due to a hamstring injury. He's expected to play. Bam Knight, he was listed as questionable. He's expected to play today with his knee injury, as well as Marvin Harrison Jr. That was the big one. He was out with an appendectomy and coming back. It looks like he is expected to play today. Baker, this was another surprise. As per Adam Schefter, he will be listed as questionable, but due to his left shoulder injury, he's expected to play. Looks like he should be getting the go this afternoon. Bucky Irving is another one that's a little bit rough that we have to talk about. So today he's listed as questionable due to his shoulder and ankle injury. He's expected to play, but the Cardinals, the Bucks are saying that they don't want to overdo it with Bucky. So he's going to be on a pitch count. They kind of did the same thing to Chris Godwin last week, played about 35% of the snaps. He's probably going to get something close to that. They have two backs that have been doing very well with Sean Tucker and Rashad White. They've been holding the load. I think he's going to probably get close to that. Chris Olave, he has back spasms. He's listed as questionable. It's a good sign that he practiced on Friday. There is some optimism that he can go, but there really hasn't been any confirming reports that state he will play or expected to play. So be aware of that moving in. Even this morning, I was watching Game Day, and they had him listed as a game time decision. That's probably what is going to be the key thing I'm looking at 11:30. Also, there was a quick report prior to, I think it was last night, that Tyler Warren was dealing with an illness, battling a stomach bug. They'll be monitoring him, but all signs point to him playing today. So you won't have to worry about Tyler Warren today, at least today. What's going on, Warrior Loft? Great to have you here today. It's always great when the Giants don't have to play on a Sunday and I can watch everything without feeling guilty about it. First he goes Jags kicker versus the Titans, or Texans kicker versus the Colts. I'm going to be going with Fairbairn indoors. Texans can move the ball down the field at least to the 30. It's indoors. I prefer indoors on this time of year, regardless of the matchup. The kickers are pretty comparable in how they play. Matchups are pretty comparable overall. I like Fairbairn just a little bit more. He's a better kicker overall. I think Little, regardless of his now history-making field goal, I still like Fairbairn. He's a little bit more accurate and can still kick 50. Ooh, this. You asked us this the other day, and well, yeah, I think this was on Friday. You got you got Justin Jefferson versus the Seahawks, who are the 10th worst. Then we got Troy Franklin going against Washington, 27th worst, and Michael Wilson going against the Bucks at the 21st worst, or Marvin Harrison Jr. Half point. I am not going to be playing Marvin Harrison Jr. If I have Michael Wilson, I'm going to be playing Michael Wilson. Um, I don't know how many I'm picking from this. I'm assuming it's one. If it is one, that no, this has to be at least two. So I'm gonna. It's hard for me to tell you not to play JJ over a guy like Troy Franklin, but the matchup is just so good. I mentioned on Friday's show, I was looking at Justin Jefferson the last 6 weeks from week 6 to 12 in full PPR, and I'll even do half just because you're looking at half right now. Um, in half PPR through weeks 6 through 12, it's incredible to see that I am still scrolling. I'm almost at 40, and he is not even near the list. He is still going. I am still going. Wait, did I miss him? Because that's the only way that this works. Oh, there he is, 31. So he is 31st the last 6 months, or the last 6 weeks, from week 12, or from week 6 to 12. And that was including games with, JJ McCarthy. This is coming in with a rookie quarterback. Yes, they might throw him the ball. They're going to get him involved. They know to go to their first read, but if teams are smart, they're going to shut down that first read. This is not an easy matchup by any means. Let me see. Going against Seattle, they are a very good defense, very good wide receivers on the outside with Witherspoon and Woolen. This is going to be a tougher matchup for them. I strongly, it's hard for me to tell you to do it. I can't. Like, Troy Franklin's in the better matchup. I'd probably want him over Jetta if you're going to make that decision, but it's a very, not anybody out in the world of fantasy is going to tell you that. I mean, through the same 6 weeks, Troy Franklin is 21st. Michael Wilson has to be a start, just from what he's been doing lately, even with, Jameis, or even with Harrison Jr. coming back. It's hard for me to tell you to not, but Harrison Jr. coming off the injury, I mean, I still think they're going to involve Wilson, but it might be down tick just a smidge. He's not getting 15 targets like he has been the last few weeks, but they do throw the ball 40 plus times a game. So in one way or another, he will be involved. Um, but like I said, it's hard for me to tell you to not start Justin Jefferson, but this is one of those matchups that I get nervous with a undrafted rookie who I just don't trust. I would feel I would feel better with with Bo Nix going to Trey Franklin and Michael Wilson than any of those others. I think you have to try to play Trey Franklin in one way or another. So if anything, it's JJ and Franklin, and then sitting the two Cardinals. But it's so hard to not play one of the Cardinals when they're, like I said, Brissett the last however many weeks has been throwing the ball at least 40 plus times a game. So it's hard not to play a receiver in that situation. So though that's a really tough, I would probably not start JJ, but like I said, it's so hard not to. He's such a better talent than all the rest, but the QB makes it much more difficult to make that decision. So I know that didn't really help. I know I just kind of jumped around it. I have to say the lock for me is Troy Franklin out of this. He has to stay in your lineup. 10 he's averaging 9 targets a game, catching at least 7 of those, averaging probably about 50 to 80 yards. It could be anything based on how the game goes. They are they're the worst match or best matchup for him. Bo is a better quarterback. Sunday Night Football, always, I always add that little bump. JJ is just, this is a tough matchup. It really, really is. And they're away. And they're in Seattle. I can't do it. I really can't do it. Yeah. I'm gonna go Troy and Michael Wilson, but it's with a heavy heart. A heavy heart. Sean Augustine, what's going on, man? Great to have you. Sorry, I did this last. Sean August, what's going on, man? Devin Neal or Juwan Jennings, full PPR. I'm gonna go Devin Neal. If anyone has watched early morning football or any of the game day football, fantasy football now or whatever, they have been showing Cleveland. Cleveland is a windy, gross mess. Everything's going to be brought back. All passes are going to be within 5 yards. They're not going to try to throw the ball downfield unless, they have the wind or something like that. It's blowing around in there. It's wet. It's gross. I am not looking forward to that matchup. Devin Neal is in a better scenario overall. At Miami, they have some like wind or something going on, but not like anything over the top. I think it's like 5 mile or 10 mile an hour wind. So yeah. And yeah, Ray kind of hit it on the nail. They're pretty legit. And San Francisco's San Francisco's offensive line is going to have a really rough day. You have Myles Garrett trying to break that season single record. He's going to be all over the field. Denzel Ward is probably one of the better cover corners in the league. It's going to be a fun day overall for them. I think this game is going to be a low scoring affair. Right now they have it at 35.5 as the point total. San Francisco's favored though, so that's a little odd, but that's mostly I think because of Shador. But either way, it's going to be a rough game. I'm going Devin Neal. Miami can be beat. Miami's favored in this game, but they've involved Neal in the passing game. Little checkdowns is what they've been doing. They used him a lot more than they used Kamara, especially in the second half of the game when he was involved more. I know Taysom Hill will be sprinkled in there, but he's more of a short yardage guy. So I'm still going to be going Devin Neal here. Ray, what's going on, brother? Great to have you here today. He goes, Mike, Wan'Dale, Bucky, or Ladd, full PPR. That's a great question. I'm taking Bucky out of the equation. I told you guys in the beginning of the show, he's probably going to get 30% of the. Sorry about that. He's probably going to get about 30% of the carries or 30% of the snaps in general. So I don't see him touching the ball a ton. And even if he does, I'm still questioning what might happen. Shoulder injuries are tricky. That's to say the same thing's going on with Baker today. I think they're going to have to keep the ball on the ground a little bit more, but I just don't see the usage that he's going to get. I can't trust a guy that's getting 30% when they have two backs that they're going to definitely involve a lot more. Wan'Dale and Ladd are two different situations. Better quarterback is for Ladd. Dart's a great quarterback, but not Herbert level. Dart still has time to develop. It's so hard to ignore what I talked about on the show on Friday. Through the last 6 weeks. Ray, I'll explain your question in a minute. Basically for this, it's hard. Like Wan'Dale has been wide receiver 7 in half PPR through weeks 6 through 12, and McConkey's at 12. Currently, Wan'Dale leads in targets for everybody. Oh well, wait, no, he doesn't lead. He is second in targets to Jamar Chase, even though Chase had that one game off. So it's one of those things where I can't. It's hard for me to tell you not to play him, but the harder part is the touchdowns. Wandell has not been able to get it. He's got one touchdown, and that was with Jameis. He's just heavily involved. He's more of a possession guy, just as like Ladd. But the matchup today versus the Raiders, they're going to have to do quick passes. They are favored by 9.5 in this game, but the over/under is much lower at 40 and a half. Giants are in a 46.5 type scenario. I'm going to go Ladd here, even though I really like Wandell. I think the situation is better against the Raiders. I think that they have a better matchup versus the Raiders. The hard part is I think a lot of it's going to be a lot of I think it's going to be like what they did a few weeks ago, where there's a lot of tight end, or they're going to do a lot of like 13 personnel. For those that don't know what that is, that's 3 tight ends on the field at any given time. So I think that they're going to do that a lot more than people think. So I'm at the point where both are going to be thrown to, both are heavily involved. I think the guy that's going to get you more. No, I'm going to go Wandell. I'm going to go Wandell here. I'm going to switch it to Wandell. It's just a better scenario. It's a safer play. He has a higher floor. Ladd, is unknown. The Chargers O-line is what's killing me here. It's going to be a really tough matchup versus, the Raiders defensive line, which by all accounts is tough, but well, that's not good. Glad all these things are coming in now. Ridiculous. Tyler Warren is good to go. Just so people know, for those that play IDP, which I'm a little annoyed about to find out at this particular moment, who I've been playing this guy forever. Hufanga for the Broncos is currently dealing with a illness, so he is listed as questionable as of today. That sucks. So we're gonna have to pivot a little bit. We'll see. So Ray, to answer your question, so he said, did you switch formats using shorts? No. So StreamYard, the site that we use for producing all this and everything, they have basically it's a formatting thing where if you're on your phone, it will make it like a short, but if it's on like a computer or a TV screen, it makes it wider. I don't know. I don't control these things. I just roll with the punches. Frank, what's going on, Frank? How you doing, man? He goes, what's cracking? Need 2 running backs, Hall, Judkins, Harvey, and Woody. I like it. I'm gonna go. I want to go Hall and Harvey. I think Harvey has to be played today. Just with the scenario with Washington, it's just a great matchup for him. I think Hall's the other guy. I like Junkins as well, but I prefer Hall and Harvey. There's really no one else behind the two of them. Junkins is dealing with Dylan Sampson a little bit. Woody, I just don't trust in a game like this against the Colts. He could be involved, but I like Hall and Harvey a lot more in this situation. Scott, what up? Scott Tobias, what's up? He goes, rest of season, Waller Strange. It's going to be strange. I can't really go into more. He's been leading the team in receiving yards the whole season until he was out for the 4 weeks, and still I think is one of the top targets. I'm going strange. Waller, he played 2 games and then he was hurt. His ramp up didn't go as according to plan, and he's older. I just want to go with the younger guy that I can trust a little bit. I don't trust the quarterback as much, but it's a better situation. No problem, Warrior. That's what I'm here for, to try to help you out the best I can. 3PIC Fail. What's up, man? Great to have you here today, as always. Pick 2, Harvey, Wilson, Debo, Sutton, Shakur. Harvey is a must. A must. I'm gonna go Michael Wilson as the second guy for full PPR. The other guys, I'm just two in between. Two in between. Mike Lopez, what's going on, man? Great to have you here. He goes, morning, brother. Good morning. We liking Neil, Vidal, and Henderson over Walker, or should I start Walker over one of the three? The only one that I would start him over is Vidal, but yeah, I might do it over Vidal. He's the only guy that I would do it over. Neil, I think, is a lock. I think Henderson is a lock. Versus the Giants, Vidal is the only other guy. But yeah, Walker is just so volatile. It's so hard to play him. Like I'm benching him in a couple leagues, but like I'm playing Vidal. I'm playing Neil over Vidal in a couple leagues. Or sorry, I'm playing Neil over Walker in a few leagues. That I have Walker in, who I was able to get Neil. So I rather play Neil just because there's really no one behind him. You know, they have Evan Hall. Like you can't not play Neil at this point. Vidal doesn't have anyone behind him. I mean, Walker and Henderson are pretty much the same type of backfield if you really think about it. Both could have, 30% of the touches or 60% or more. It's really the hot hand play. So I like Walker's scenario. They're favored by 12. That means, if they go up, they're going to have to run it, So I think it's a positive game script for them to use Walker a little more. Vidal is going to be in a situation that's pretty similar, 9.5 point favorites, at home. All these guys are at home. All these guys are going to be in favorable scenarios. I don't think you can do wrong with either or, but I think Walker's the better play over Vidal. Just a better back. Ray, I answered it. I think I'm gonna, like I said, I think I'm gonna go Wandell, and I really think his usage the last few weeks has been better. He's got 43 receptions with 527 yards in the last 6 weeks. 1 touchdown out of those. 8 20+ yard catches compared to Ladd that's only gotten 5. The touchdowns are the only thing that's kind of helping a guy like Ladd. Nothing is helping Wandell. Wandell's doing it all based on his own, skill set. The ankle injury does scare me a smidge, but not a ton. The matchup isn't horrible either against New England. New England has been struggling as of late. Let me just get yardages here so I don't turn you in the wrong direction. They're currently 19th, so just below average of stopping the pass the last, for the year. So it's a good matchup overall. Raiders are 13th best against the pass. If that's going to be my coin flip right there, it might be the coin flip that I need. But yeah, that's a tough one for sure. Now I'm going to have to find a D-back on the fly. This is always going to be fun. Gotta find a D-back. I hate finding last second guys. It always annoys me. And the guy that I would have used is currently on suspension. Can't make this stuff up, ladies and gents. Can't make this stuff up. Make sure you guys are throwing those questions in the chat if you haven't already. I will be here for your questions. That's what I'm here for. I'll be answering those actives. I'll be giving you actives and inactives roughly in 6 minutes. The only guy that we know for sure is playing is Tyler Warren. They already said that he's good to go. So Be aware. Gonna have to find a D-back because I don't like the questionable tag prior to playing. Just not a good sign. Not a good sign at all. But what can you do, right? You got to change up on the fly. It's just how it goes. It's fantasy. It's fantasy. Man, not much out there in the world of DBs in my league. Everyone either played and, already has points and stuff, or they're not available. I mean, I can always pivot last second to one of the Denver receivers or Denver guys if I have to, but they haven't really been putting up any points lately. Anybody that plays IDP, let me know what you think if you're listening. Let me know what you think for a D-back. I can tell you if they're available in my league. Alrighty. Anyone from Jacksonville? That's a good question. Right now, for D-backs, people that are available, let me get the numbers up. The top players available. Unfortunately, I missed out on a lot of the Thursday, Friday games, so I don't have the top guys. Marcus Jones from the Patriots, Lassiter from the Texans, Bishop from the Bills. From the Bills. Mika Fitzpatrick from the Dolphins. We have Jeremy Chin from the Raiders, who I like. Watts from the Atlanta Falcons. Jalen Thompson from Arizona. Drew Phillips is available for the Giants, who I like. I might be inclined to pivot to him if I need to, but it's a tough matchup overall. Isaiah Rodgers, another guy I might go for because he'll be going against a really good matchup today against JSN. What up, Patrick? Way to see. He goes, yo, go Big Blue. So Olave or Gainwell? I'm going to go Gainwell. Really love the matchup. Really love yeah. Oh, so you're going Fitz. Sounds like your guy should be a shootout for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I'm probably going to I might pivot. I don't know. I like Hufanga a lot. Illness doesn't really scare me a ton. They'll IV him up until the game time and stuff, but I'm more worried if he's inactive and it's a Sunday night game, then I have to pivot to either Sunday night group or go to the Monday night group and grab a guy from that. There are plenty available. Like I said, Phillips is available and stuff like that. The hard part for me is I can't drop him. So, if I drop him, I'm like Hufanga is one of the best players on my, of that group. I would have to drop either a Stevenson Downs or Purcell, and I don't want to drop either of them. So playing defense at this point, I could probably drop Downs. He's the only guy that I would drop though. So yeah, Patrick, I'm gonna go Gainwell for the over Olave. And then Vidal, Tracy, Debo, or Gainwell, pick 2. I'm gonna go Vidal and Gainwell for those. I just like Gainwell's matchup versus against the Buffalo Bills. Bills cannot stop the run this year. They've been having a really rough time against the run. They are currently 30th against the run. Lost a couple of big linebackers and defensive players with Ed Oliver being out. Ed Oliver was pretty much the main staple of this offense. So, or sorry, defense. Coffee hasn't kicked in yet, ladies and gents. Yeah, so Mike Lopez, I might be going with probably Drew Phillips might be the next best thing on my list. I don't love it, but I have really no choice. I think sticking with the guy until the very end is tough. Um oh. Uh I'm gonna go Walker and Gainwell then. Can't play Tracy today versus Patriots, who have been I think they're number 1 or 2 or 5. They were number 1 or 2 at one point, but they're number 5 on the year against running backs. No. Debo, no. The answer is no. All right. So we're getting actives and inactives coming in right now for the Jaguars. It looks like Damien Brown is out. Travion Walker's out. Big hit for their defense. Looks like Baker is active, so he's good to go. He'll be playing today. Marvin Harrison Jr. is active today, so is Bam Knight. So we got Bam Knight and him active. Thrash is inactive for all those who care about that. I don't, but I'm gonna say it anyway for those that care. No one for the San Francisco game at this point. Biggest game we're waiting for is the Saints, trying to see their particular lineup. Saints inactives are Kamara and Ridgeway, so it looks like Chris Olave is active. I'm gonna have to make that decision myself. I have Olave and Mbuka. Just like the consistency of Olave over Mbuka, but Mbuka is not hurt. So Mbuka is currently in a better scenario, but it's a tougher matchup because Will Johnson will be playing today. Baker's banged up. If Baker's out, then I'm screwed. Olave, if he's out, at least it's on him and not on somebody else that caused my what's going on. Looks like Alan Lazard is active today for the Jets. Jelani Woods is inactive for the Jets. Drake London, we already knew was out. Hodge is out as well. Okay. Slowly getting to the end of these actives and inactives. Patrick goes, okay, Gainwell or Aaron Jones? I'm still going to go Gainwell. I just like Gainwell in this matchup. They use Pittsburgh currently this year has actually underperformed their rush rate. They're actually at like middle of the pack. That used to be second overall, but you can see what they can do each week, and both of them have been doing very well. Warren and Gainwell the last few weeks. Let me just look at something real quick. Just never been an Aaron Jones fan, to be quite honest. Could never really get on board with what he has been doing. The last 2 weeks, Gainwell has been a top 10 twice. I'm gonna go Cincinnati, and against Cincinnati and Chicago. Really, really good matchups that he ended up exploiting. In this case, Buffalo's another one of those. I'm gonna play Gainwell today over Aaron Jones. What up from the West Coast? What up, Rasta? How you doing, man? He goes, what up, Classic? Rasta wants to know, 12-team non-PPR. Is this our league? Oh no, that's the other league you're in with Frank. BTJ, Marvin Harrison Jr. or Wandell. Gross. I want to say I want to say Wandell, but I know in non PPR it's tough because in non PPR he is not doing what he is currently doing in those other leagues. Um, so it's hard for me to go Wandell. I do like him a lot, as you know. Um, but at this point, it's hard for me to suggest a guy like that in those situations. Standard league scoring for the last 6 weeks. Let's see. Out of this group, it might be Marvin Harrison Jr. Is my play, and it's really only because of the amount that they're going to throw the ball. But even in non PPR, he is wide receiver 10 currently. In the last 6 weeks, or 7 weeks, and we don't see anything going on. Yeah, let's go Wandell. Let's go Wandell out of that group. It's either him or Marvin Harrison, and it's really just because of how much Brissett throws. Yeah, I mean he's throwing 40 a game. It's incredible. I've never seen a quarterback, a backup quarterback, nonetheless, to throw that often in a matchup every week. I mean, he's had 44, 36, 31, 44, 57, 50, 49. And in all of those games, he's had at least 60%, except for the game versus Seattle where he had 50. But he's had over 61% in every game, and he had a really good matchup or a really good completion percentage versus San Francisco. So, yeah, I know. That's the weird part about this scenario. I haven't done numbers on what it's been like with and without um, Dart in there, to be quite honest. Winston played versus uh, Winston played against Detroit, and he's gotten 21 points. And then prior to that, with Green Bay and Chicago, uh, he got 3.1 points. He hasn't really been as active, but neither has those guys. Neither has been Marvin Harrison Jr. or Brian Thomas Jr. Brian Thomas Jr. coming off injury, getting involved with Jacoby Myers, which only kind of helps him a little bit in a decent matchup. Um, but I like the amount that the Cardinals have been throwing the ball. So I'm probably going to aim more Marvin Harrison Jr. if you wanted to pivot. But Wandell to me is a strong candidate to still do well. And even he's had the 2 games that were in the top 12, and one was with Dart, one was without Dart, and he even probably no. Then he had Russ for the Dallas game. So I mean, he's been doing pretty well overall, but he's targeted in those games, 7, 12, 4, 11, 11, 9, 4. So even with Dart in there, he was still, targeted that much. I think I'm still okay with Wandell in this matchup, but if you wanted to pivot, Marvin Harrison Jr. would be the play. All right. So we got Chris Olave, who was the big one. He's active today. Just be aware of that if you have him. I would be cautiously optimistic with him in his scenario. Back spasms are not anything to to they're not fun. They're not fun. And if he gets hit the wrong way, he could be out. It could tighten up on him at any point during the game. So just be aware of that. Um, I think that. Oh, and Rasta, another thing. Even with Dart back, Dart tends to get more rushing yards. I think they're going to hold him back a smidge. Like, don't run unless it's necessary. So yeah, I think they're going to have to throw it a little bit more against New England and move things, a little bit. the over under for this game is 46.5, and they're underdogs by 7. Means they got to stay with, they got to at least throw to stay competitive. So I'm just going to go with that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please continue to throw those questions in the chat. I'm here for you guys today. Sorry, I forgot to add this little thing. Happens when you're by yourself. Yeah. So keep throwing those questions out there. For those that are new to the channel, please make sure you guys are liking and subscribing to the show. If you haven't already, please make sure you do. If you're in the chat and you're new, don't be shy. Ask those questions. That's what we're here for. Also, make sure you guys like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, please check out Underdog Fantasy, which I have right up here in the top corner. Make sure you guys are checking out Underdog Fantasy. Please make sure you guys wrong one. Make sure you guys are using the promo code Get Right. They will help you with a new thing that they're doing, the Play 5 Get 100. This is for new customers. So check that out. Use promo code Get Right, and they will give you if you play 5, they'll help you with 100. So check them out. Also check out our affiliate podcast as well with Phil Ruskin at the extra point, and good old Kendall when he gets back from paternity leave or maternity leave. There we go. Doing his show as well. Check him out, and also please check out Evan's podcast as well. He does shorts every week. It's Barely Fantasy on YouTube. I added it to the description below. Also check out our Discord below as well. Our Discord is really big. We want to continue to build that Discord. It's a wonderful group of people in there, so make sure you guys check out our Discord. All righty. So make sure you guys throw those questions in the chat. I'm going to be here as long as you guys want me to be here. So no questions. I can't really do much else. I want to make sure you guys get your questions answered. So make sure you guys ask them. Also, make sure you guys, if you haven't already, check out trophysmack.com. It's that time of year, ladies and gents. We're getting, unfortunately, near the end of the season. We are getting to that point where, your league is going to need their trophy if they don't have one already. You can also, this is one of their more popular trophies that they have, but you can customize this any way you want. They also have one of their best is the belt. Love this belt. Think it's a great option to have. The Kirk Cousins chain. You can make your own custom design, as well as a customized ring that you can get as well. I've also mentioned that they have a helmet in there, and they have a banner as well. You can do a banner every year with your group or something like that. Everybody's different. Every league is different in how they approach things. But yeah, they have the helmet, which is fantastic. I made my own just because I saw what they did and I thought it was a cool idea, but didn't want to spend $300. So I know it's a little expensive, but it's a really cool product. They have a little base for it and everything. So definitely check that out. All righty. Throw your questions in the chat if you haven't already. Please get those in. If you're not going to have any more questions, I might wrap this up a few minutes early so I can go make some decisions on my IDP choice of my week. I'm going to have to get a last minute situation taken care of for the Hufunga. Make a change if I feel necessary. Little things like that. So make sure you guys are throwing those questions in the chat. I'll be here for you guys and you guys alone. What else do we got going on here? Not much else going on. I will be questionable next week on Friday. My wife is soon to give birth to our child, our little baby girl. So we are at crunch time next week or two. So we just everything is kind of up in the air at this moment, but I should be back Friday. We'll see. I might take Friday off. My birthday's on Thursday, so we'll see how that works out. But I will do my best to be here next Sunday as well. Just, we'll see how everything turns out, but my schedule will be a little bit up in the air the next few weeks, or next 2 weeks. I will not be here for sure after the 14th. Gonna be in new baby mode and trying to get everything settled, with the wife and the baby. So just be aware if that's, if you don't see us on for a week or two, that's why. Kendall should be here after that. Like our particular wives at the same, it's kind of a good transition over. But we'll see how that goes. We're going to talk it out and make it work one way or another. So we'll work that out. All righty, boys and girls. I have not seen a question come through in the last 5 to 10 minutes. I am not going to sit here and talk your ear off. I am going to start wrapping things up unless I see questions coming in as I'm wrapping up everything. Please make sure you guys check out our affiliate podcast. Like I said, check out Phil at the Extra Point as well as Kendall at the Fantasy Football Tavern. They will have stuff coming out shortly. Also, make sure you guys check out our other stuff as well. We have a ton coming down the pipe, and also check out our Discord as well. If you are not in there already, you should be. Discord is one of our best. It's in the description below, a link to get in there. All right, ladies and gents, I hope everyone has a wonderful week 13, unless you're facing me. I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Peace.